Good morning to you. 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on August the 3rd, Monday. Hope everybody is doing well, staying healthy and being safe. And we want you to enjoy another edition of Hardison'S Tips. So I know you folks got to get going, so let's get right into it for today. This is a two-part, but this is something that I ran into over the weekend. One of my former clients had asked me about outside salespeople. Are they obsolete? Now he's the CFO of a large distributing company that specializes in automation equipment. And they had just lost three field salespeople and was thinking about replacing them. But what kind of person should I look for? He asked, in light of all the radical changes that are going on in the economy. While his need for a solution was urgent, the question he asked is every B2B sales leader's question over the next coming months. And that is this concept of outside sales professionals. For decades, key account, major account, up and down the street, in home sales, outside salespeople have been doing this for generations. Outside salespeople thrive on that face-to-face relationship. Their approach to the job will get to the car, go see people, get on the plane, go see people, and the world is full of businessmen that have grown up on this sales model. For the last couple of decades, however, there's been a trend enhancing the role to ensure that salespeople to be competent. And in some cases, they wanted to make sure that the outside salesperson was effectively doing their job and not really padding a situation. So leading companies have been involved in slowly making these changes for a time. And while the trend has been to move authority and accountability from outside to inside, it's generally just been looked upon as not really a win-win yet, because many people, the decision makers, still love that face-to-face, not over the phone, that face-to-face when it comes to negotiating and closing deals. So until recently, the COVID lockdown had turned the world upside down and salespeople with it. All at once, people in the field, salespeople, find themselves locked out of their customers' buildings. Can't get in to see the decision maker face to face. Those who were resourceful fell back on the phone and embraced the video technology to attempt to stay in contact with their customers. But they discovered that they needed to acquire an almost entirely new skill set with new rules and new procedures. The new reality contains these elements. Both sides of the salespeople or the vendor side, and purchasing people on the customer side have discovered that phone and video technology is far more efficient than face to face. The economics of the equation are, boy, true to form. Just look at the bottom line. Here's what I mean. The typical outside sales call costs companies anywhere between $150 to $300 per call, whereas the typical inside proactive phone call costs a fraction of that, maybe $5 a call. So a decades-long trend has just now been spotted in the mirror. There has been a trend for purchases to make decisions on the basis of information, with a live person being there, but now we're doing it without a person being there. 15 years ago, for example, many surveys reported that 70% of purchasers said that they would rather have a good catalog and knowledgeable inside contact than the traditional outside salesperson. That tendency has been around for a long time, but now it's been given some stronger merit. A certain percentage of purchases are going right to the remote and trying to find a way to get to a quick and easy answer without having that outside salesperson. So what does it do? The reduction of time spent by communicating with fewer salespeople. I can automatically do what I need to do with this technology, phone, video, get the contract in and done. This way, instead of listening to excuses from salespeople who may have had too much to drink, showing up late, whatever it may be with that, those days are about gone. So, am I saying that the traditional outside sales position is going the way of the dinosaur? Well, eventually it will be, because if I'm locked out of a building because the decision makers are no longer in the building, they're at home, I need to start thinking about something else. Now, this is not going to be immediate, but for those traditionalists, for those outside closers, for those people who can hop on a plane and close a deal in a second, those days are about gone. So if you're not embracing technology, if you're not trying to find a way to get to your decision maker, your purchasing manager, and finding it easier for him or her to do business, maybe it is time for you to retire. Change is the most difficult thing that a human being has to deal with, especially in the workplace when you are so successful being comfortable at what you've done. Now the whole world is upside down. So you have a choice. Do I keep abreast with the new technology and stay in the game? Or should I hang up my shoes and said I had a good run? Now, if it's the first, there's many organizations, even your own, that will be glad to teach you on how to still stay abreast, sharp, dealing with your client. If your heart's not in it, I understand that focus also. So tomorrow we'll look at part 2. Is the outside salesperson obsolete? Don't forget, Wednesday, August the 5th, 12 noon, Hardison'S Tips Live, we have our special guest, Mr. Stan Scher, who's one of the best when it comes to the automotive BDC, Business Development Centers, and he will give us some insights, what he's seeing with this COVID going on. So that's Wednesday, the 5th at 12 noon. My students will be out to lunch, giving me an opportunity to give you some mental lunch, if you will. So be there. In the meantime, as always, parting, this is Brandon Hardison for Hardison'S Tips.